Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digimon video. So today I'm going to be talking about something slightly different and something that I thought I never really would cover, and that is an alternate rule set. So I know a lot of people are always experimenting with alternate rule sets to be able to customize the game to their liking and change it to try to have new ways to be able to approach the game. And I thought of one that I haven't really seen a lot of people talk about, and that is the idea of the no archetype rule set. So, outside of the name literally explaining what the rule set is trying to accomplish, I figured I might as well break it down anyway and define what is an archetype, at least more in terms of what is an archetype for Digimon. So, the base definition of an archetype is that it is a group of cards that share a name component and want to interact with specific cards that share that same named component. Digimon definitely has this already, but Digimon goes one step further, and they also have trait-based archetypes, which is functionally the same thing, just utilizing traits instead of names. But when it comes to alternative rule sets, the game of Digimon doesn't necessarily support various different rule sets very well, especially if you're trying to change the game to basically be something it's not, injecting rule sets from other games into Digimon, just because Digimon's design doesn't necessarily allow for it. But I still like the idea on it, because at the end of the day, as long as we're having fun playing Digimon, that's all that really matters. But as far as more Bandai's approach, because I did come up with this rule set based on the Ultimate Cup rule set and some of the other rule sets that they were looking at in various different surveys that they hosted, it seemed like they wanted to keep the core rules of the game intact as much as possible, just apply a little bit of a twist to it. And then that twist is supposed to try to have a slower format, a less powerful format, and try to have games actually be a little bit more varied and not as consistent as what is in the current base game, just to make sure that you could try to have a different experience while still playing the same game for the most part. So I chose archetypes more specifically as the thing to pick on and remove from the game to have this alternative rule set, because I noticed that archetype-based design has really taken over Digimon's current set design, and sometimes that's not necessarily the most fun or exciting to be playing around with, especially since half or most of your deck is just going to end up being built for you because of how archetypes work in general. So as far as the specifics behind the rule set, outside of what the name has given away, basically anything that refers to another card's name or trait outside of special evolution conditions just is not allowed. The idea behind this is to rely more on the mechanics of the cards rather than the synergy of the cards in tandem with one another. So cards that also treat themselves as having a specific name are allowed, because this is more in line with just rules text, on top of the fact that because we're already taking away name-based synergy, obviously having that rules text on the card is going to hold less weight and less importance, because it doesn't have those name-based interactions for that card to then be able to use. So cards like Agumon and Dorbikmon that are referencing cards by name and by trait are cards and examples that are not going to be allowed with this rule set, while cards like Gaiomon and Wargrowlmon X Antibody are perfectly fine. But just like how Bandai has their own special ban and restriction list specifically for Ultimate Cup, I've created one specifically for the changes to the game based on this custom rule set. So going over those really quickly, Quartzmon is going to be banned just because green already has some of the fastest ways to be able to climb its stages from a mechanical standpoint, so them having access at one of the strongest level 7 Digimon just means that they could propel themselves forward faster and stronger than a lot of the other colors could. Therefore, I decided to ban the card. Then Death Exmon is just a highly splashable card. There's no real reason not to run it, especially if you do have the deck space for it, so I decided to just axe that card as well. Deathslinger is a very powerful card for mill-based decks, and I feel like it's kind of too powerful, because the reward for milling should already be the aspect of filling up your trash, so you don't need the extra benefits on top of that to propel yourself even faster forward than what some of the other decks would normally be able to. So therefore, I have decided to ban the card as well. Chaos Degradation is also going to get banned just because security control can be a huge problematic thing because that deck is entirely a mechanics-based deck rather than an archetype-based deck, so I just needed to hit one of its best removal option cards to try to put it more in line with where the rest of the format could potentially be. Same thing on why I'm going to be banning Magnet Angemon from BT01, just because it's one of the best recovery cards in security control. So to reduce the amount of good, effective recovery that they have access to, especially on the generic level, I decided that that card should also just be banned. Hidden Potential Discover is just another really powerful green card that just allows them to move faster than most other colors. Therefore, I've also just decided to just axe the card. And Starter Deck Greymon is a card that I decided to actually limit to one, just because if you're playing red, there's no real reason not to play Starter Deck Greymon, just because of his simple ability on giving any Digimon he digivolves into Security Attack Plus, so this could help reduce the amount of red-based OTK decks that would be present with this rule set. But I will be testing this rule set out in some of the various different events that I'll be running on my Discord server, and as we play more of this rule set and get to understand it a little bit better, just like Bandai with Ultimate Cups, I will be changing the ban and restriction list accordingly to better balance the game with this custom rule set in mind. So that's all I really have for this video. As always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and down in the description below are a couple of different ways you could support me and the channel. So I do have a TCG Player affiliate link, so when you use that link to buy cards off of TCG Player, then some of that money will go to supporting me and the channel. I also do make and sell playmats over on Overcard Gamers on Facebook, so when you buy a playmat with my design, then some of that money will also go to help supporting me and the channel. And on top of all of that, I do have a Twitch account over on twitch.tv/Zenitsu, so giving me a follow and a subscription also helps support me there, and I do play Digimon on top of various other games on that platform as well. So thank you everyone for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.